Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Oh, it's Megan.
Hi there, it's Amy.
Well, it wasn't going to be Leah Riley here today. And we need to talk about it because I looked death in the eye today. And it was a dark road. It was a dark road. And I've been thinking about how to share the story because people get mad when I am gross. Like, no one ever likes it. People get mad at me. And I don't know how to tell this story without it being gross because it is disgusting. So,
With the Amy button.
So, first, the good news. So this morning, I was having a cup of coffee and I looked at Patreon, and I often don't look at the Patreon chat that much, not for any like bad reasons. I think we've kind of said that the Patreon chat's a spot that we like folks to feel really comfortable talking and chatting, and it's kind of their space. And so for whatever reason, today I just had a look. I don't know, like the cosmic world wanted me to have a look. And one of our Patreons shared and said, Leah, your book just got a mention in the Wall Street Journal. And I was like, well, that's super cool. So I looked it up, found it, was like, yay, that's fun. And I like made a little post for social media. And it was all, we're gonna talk later about, about
What's in that article. Yeah.
But let's just say there was about hockey romance, and I wrote a hockey romance, Puck and Prejudice, that it referenced, and I put it on Instagram, and I also shared it in my office because like we've been talking a lot about heated rivalry and stuff, and so it was just like I put it in my office Slack to be like, look at your girl in the Wall Street Journal today. I hit send, take a sip of coffee, and I'm like, this feels good. Like, I'm going to take a win. It just feels nice. The book got a little bit of like a shout out somewhere, even if it's kind of a weird article. At that exact moment, someone in my family, I've made a decision to leave the person anonymous. Well, I'm going to have to out that they're a child. I hear a mom coming from downstairs. I go downstairs and the downstairs bathroom has overflowed. The downstairs toilet has overflowed. And I'm not going to risk the Amy button. But
Amy's already.
But I'm going to say, like, if I went to Coachella and I got like superhuman strength and I picked up a porta potty and I just shook it like a blender and then just like threw it and was like, bleh! That's what I walked into.
Dude,
I walked
like the whole bathroom?
It was unholy what was happening. Like unholy, unhinged.
Dude.
And my child had tried to get ahead of the situation by laying down towels.
Mm-hmm.
So that meant
That's a good start.
Part of what I was going to need to do then is pick up towels, cradling them to me to bring through in a way that doesn't contaminate or leak to get them to the washing machine. So I could see how my life was going to be bad for a while. Mm-hmm. And they also there were some significant school things happening today, and they needed to get to school. It's the end of the semester, and there's a lot going on with school, and there's tests. There's all sorts of things one might imagine a child needs to do. So they had to go. They were unable to, and this was beyond the capability of a child's to deal with. So I called my husband down and said, you need to take this child to school, and I'm going to deal with whatever this is. I was not gracious about it at all. And then I got to work, and I was plunging that toilet, and I plunged it for like a good 20 minutes. Like I plunged it to where like I was able to go into like a meditative state and think about my
She was in flow. You're like doing plunge flow. You're like doing it to the beat of Staying Alive, like staying alive.
But as time went on, curiously, I became less adept at keeping a distance from it mentally. So the more I was in there, it wasn't like I got used to it. In fact, it got worse. And so I started to be like, I think I'm going to be sick. And after about like 20 minutes, I'm like, I am going to be sick. I am going to be sick.
Yeah.
And then I began to get sick. And then I choked on my own vomit and I couldn't breathe.
Leah!
I lost the ability fully to breathe. Like I couldn't breathe. I was fully choked. I don't know what I did. I was like throwing up so violently, I began to choke. I couldn't breathe at all. And I had the ability to have a sentient thought, which was, if I die like this, I am going to die in a room full of shit.
Right?
Choking
on
my own
your
vomit.
own vomit.
Oh my God.
And will this make the news? I was like,
Yeah.
will I get in the news for this?
Right.
Because this is so bad. Like, will I be like a curiosity? Romance writer dies in a shitty way, and then like they make jokes about me on like nighttime TV. I was thinking this as so what did I think? My life didn't flash between my eyes. I thought, I am going to go down in this puddle of shit and Nick's going to come home and find me dead.
Right.
And after about like 15 seconds, which felt like 15 hours, I got this like little breath in and was like, okay, if I can get one breath in, I can like survive. Like if I got one breath in, I can get another. And
Right.
so after like a second, I was able to like kind of like get it to where I could like start to breathe again, and then just kept being sick.
I was
And
like,
then as
you're
can,
taking in a breath and you're breathing like shitty air.
Oh
too.
my God.
Oh yeah. But it
My
was just like,
God.
I was at least able to get air because I really thought I was dying. Like
Yeah.
without a doubt, I was like, I can't, like, it was like, I had never choked on food before where I was just like, like there was like nothing, like I was just done. So then I got to clean up my being sick, that situation, and then go to work for the day. And I just thought, like, in my mind, as I was like, finally, like, I'm not dead. I didn't die in this literal shitty situation. I cleaned it up in the end. Like the last little bit, I'm like rubbing bleach down on stuff and whatever. The bathroom's back to like, you wouldn't know what had happened. And I was thinking, God, my day started out where I was like, look, sometimes you just feel like you're kind of making it for like a second. And I was like, and then the universe comes and is like, but remember.
Yeah, life humbles
Remember
you.
the shadow work that exists at all times.
Not today,
And I always
Leah.
think of like
Not
other
today.
people like living these like romantic lives, like, oh, whatever, like somebody has a win. I'm like, life must be good for them. They must be doing great today. Like, whatever. I'm like, yeah, well, anyone who is like, wow, look at that. That's cool that Leah got to have that. And you almost got to, like, could you imagine if the two of you next week had to be like, well, everyone,
We're
like,
very sad.
sugarcoat?
We're very
How do
sad
you-
to report.
How do you
Stop.
sugarcoat it? How do you
don't
sugarcoat?
sugarcoat that. You got to tell it
Do you
like it
say
is.
Leah died choking on her own vomit in her
Oh my-
child's shit vest?
My God. Oh my God.
Oh, I just said my real name. Do you say Leah Riley choked on her own vomit in her children's shit vest?
I mean, I don't know.
I'm
what you
glad I
said.
didn't have to make that decision.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
dang. Yeah, I don't really want to think about it.
That's a
But that
production
is
factory.
the way life humbles you, and especially if you are a parent or you are in charge of a little person, like at any point, like you're a guardian or you are responsible. They do things that feel inhuman. Like inhuman things come from their bodies. Crazy.
This is not at all to make it about me, but a similar thing happened because I didn't almost choke on my own vomit, but that happened in our downstairs bathroom with one of my children. The kicker for that was as it's overflowing and I am throwing towels down because I don't know what to do in the moment, because there is a vent in that bathroom
No.
that drops right down to the laundry room. So not
Yeah.
only, so we had to clean out that vent, and then I had to go downstairs and clean off the washer and dryer that were covered in shit water.
Oh my God. It's so great, isn't it? And
Thanks,
the joys
kids.
of-
Upside down, being in the upside down.
We have
Yeah.
rules now about which toilets you're allowed to use for shitting. And
Yeah, we had-
and courtesy flushes as well.
we had to change our toilet paper. We had to change. We have now, and I used to judge people for their toilet paper. Like, I'm going to be honest, I was very bougie.
You
And
can't.
if you didn't have like Charmin or Quilted Northern, even, I judged you. No, we are now that family that has terrible like
You're like,
one
one
ply
ply,
Scott.
one
Yep,
ply.
one ply Scott, because
That's going to
septic
dissolve.
systems can't handle it.
Yep.
And yeah, I can't believe we're talking about this, but
You know what? We're talking about Leah
Leah-
almost coming to her own end.
yeah, you know
And-
what?
You didn't have to hit a button, so I feel like I did well.
No,
Because
absolutely not.
I could have made it much more visceral. And trust
No,
me, I
I-
have.
I know you can because you're actually a very visceral storyteller. I know you were I could actually physically see you holding yourself back from really going like full in. So I do appreciate that as well. But you're correct. We didn't have to rewrite your ending because your ending,
It hasn't come yet.
has
you're
not.
alive.
Yeah.
I am still here. And I am here to write a new ending, a new chapter.
Aw.
The segue
And we're so
that we all
happy
need.
that you are. Yeah, the segue
Yeah.
that everybody wanted today. So yeah, today we are talking about endings of K-dramas, but don't I see some of you already the wheels turning and saying, wait, you already did an episode on endings. We did. We're not talking about endings that we like today. We're talking about endings that need to be redone.
Yeah.
And we have rewritten endings to 3 K-dramas for you all today. So this is something that you have never heard before. We've done stuff like this before. We have rewritten endings. We have written second lead SOSs, and it's been a while since we've done a little
long time.
creative endeavor for you.
That's why I thought we kind of were talking about, the topics, and we were like, we haven't done an SOS in a while, so we can either do, a second lead SOS or we can do endings. And all of us have like felt some type of way about some endings recently, so that's what we decided to go with.
Yep. Some strong feelings about some endings. And
Yeah.
Leah, I kind of want you to start because we're going into the Wayback Machine for yours, and I'm really excited about it.
Okay. So,
Wait,
I
I
mean,
don't actually know what you're doing today.
okay. So, Megan, do you have any predictions on what I might be doing?
You said it, and
I know, but I don't remember.
I do, and I was very excited about it. It's because it's a drama she didn't watch.
My demon? Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
so-
excited about this.
Yeah, I did My Demon.
So yeah, we are spoiling. By the way, we're spoiling. Like there's no non-spoiler section today, y'all. So
Yes.
if you haven't watched My Demon and you don't want to hear the ending, skip ahead.
This is not for you.
Yeah.
So what, like, I'm just going to, do we give like a very quick thing of like what the ending was and
Yeah.
why we didn't like it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, My Demon is a story about a demon who, loses his powers for a while. I'm not going to get into the whole plot. Basically, in the nutshell, he has a role where he will, when you are in a dire time of need, he will show up and be like, you need to make a deal with the devil. So you make a deal. You are desperate, so you make a deal. And it doesn't cost much, just your immortal soul. And so it can often be that the people making a deal are bad. They're greedy. They're nasty people. They want to hurt someone. They want to cause harm. They want wealth that shouldn't be theirs. They want something that's egregious. Do I think that they should like burn in a pit of fire as we see on TV for like all time? No, but like, okay, I can roll with that as a K-drama story. It got much more problematic for me when we have like an adorable child's dying of cancer and the parent is like, I would do anything. And he shows up and is like, anything? I'll take that soul. Like, so you get to get what you want. And then after like a 10-year period or something, he comes to collect. And this also happens with the heroine's father when the mom went into labor with her. It was a rainy night, and apparently there was like no room in any hospital inn. They were going hospital to hospital on foot in the rain, and no one would let them come in. They were there was a car accident. So they were too big. Like there had been a major car accident. And so there were too many people and there was no room for her. So she ends up like falling into a gutter to deliver this baby and like seems like she will die delivering this baby. And he makes like the father kind of calls out like, whatever I need to do kind of a thing. Like I'm more or less. And the demon appears and makes a deal like, yes, I'll say, does this thing. I'll save this woman's life. I'll save this child's life. And like in return, I'll need to have your soul. So at some point, the father dies in a car accident because it is time for his soul to be taken to hell as the demon's payment. All of that was like, okay, sure. But I kept waiting for like, there's going to be some reckoning here.
Wasn't the mom also in the car with him when he had the accident?
Yeah,
so it ended up.
She's orphaned.
Yeah.
No, at the very end, though, she finds out that like he collected her father and the mother, but is like, you saved me because if it wasn't for you, I would have like been dead. Like you saved me because like you came and saved me. I'm like, yeah, and took your dad to fucking hell. And
right,
then,
it's not just that these people die after 10 years. They go to hell.
Yeah, they go to a pit of fire. They show the lake of fire. They're suffering. And all I could then like they never show like Cancer Kid's parent again. But I'm like, all I could think of is the end happens. He's still a demon. So also she's mortal. So that's never gonna like work in the long run.
Yeah, there's no change.
And so there's no change, and all those people that are in hell suffering still there, presumably. And he's going to continue being a demon, doing his hell collecting demon biz, and she's okay. She's cool. So when I say that this filled me with incandescent rage, yes, it did. Like, because it was just to me, it's such an obviously easy
Mhm.
fix. So I'm not going to be turning over like a Nobel Prize winning concept here. I'm going to say the bare minimum of what you could have done to make this be, because I enjoyed the drama up until then, because I was like, this is all going to reconcile in some way. And then at the end, when it was just like this and we had to pretend it was happy, I was like, why would you have not done any of the my Virgo came out. It was like, why did you just not do the most obvious things, which would have cost you nothing? Like, it would have been, you wouldn't have had to go over time, really. You would have just done this. So I'm going to give you a new final act setup. So at the end, what we have right now is like he regains his power, he defeats the antagonists. The heroine's safe but mortal. He's immortal, bound to his demonic duties. And it's a happy ending, yet the time is ticking towards their inevitable separation. That's how we end it in the drama. So, how about this? What if he discovers an ancient clause in the demonic covenant that a demon who willingly surrenders their immortality and accepts a mortal lifespan can release all the souls they've claimed who were judged unjustly or died with pure hearts? It's never been invoked, though, because no demon has ever loved enough to like give up eternity. That's it. That's all we needed. Something like that. So in this really pivotal like moment, we're gonna have the hero Guwon. He's not gonna tell Do-hee immediately. He's going to visit the souls he's claimed, including her father. He's going to see the cancer patients, the accidents, the unfair deaths. And he's going to realize that in serving justice as a demon, he's often served cruelty. He's going to have some reckoning. He's going to feel bad for things he has done. Do-hee is going to discover what he's planning. He's conflicted because she wants him human, and like she would like to know that especially her father is at peace. But she also is like, is this worth the cost? I'm willing to even go there. I'm willing to even let this be like she like grapples with that like for like a minute. And he says something like, for 200 years I've taken, let me give just once, and what I get in return is a lifetime with you. Great.
So romantic,
Perfect.
right?
So he performs the ritual. His powers burn away like embers. As his immortality fades, we see the souls releasing from hell. Do-hee's father appears to her briefly, tears streaming, mouthing that he loves her before ascending into the light. The cancer parents reunite with their child in dreams or like a future time. Like this, just like, we see this like moment of peace. Then Guwon collapses. He's now fully human, no powers, no immortality, no tattoo, just a man. And then we have a little epilogue 1 year later. He's learned to drink coffee without complaining about the bitterness. He gets cold now. She has to fuss on him. They visit the parents' grave together. And when he's there, he has this moment where he feels some warmth, like he can sense approval. And then they have a small, intimate wedding. He kind of trembles a little bit, and it's not because it's too cold or he's afraid, but it's just that like moment of overwhelming mortality in the moment. Like every second counts now, every breath is numbered, and that makes infinity more precious.
Boom.
I mean,
Perfect.
yeah,
That makes
I
it
love
sorry,
it.
not infinity. That makes it all infinitely more precious. Sorry,
Yes.
Does he go to the dentist too? Does she have to take him to the dentist?
Yeah, I mean, you just
like
haven't
tail the nine tail,
Fake a root canal, like
fake a root canal.
For anyone who's seen Lord of the Rings, he chooses a mortal life. He pulls an Arwen.
Well,
Yeah.
the funny thing is that he was a mortal man.
Yes.
Like he was not demon incarnate, like for all of existence. He was a
No, he
mortal who
started as
became
a
a
mortal.
demon. Yeah.
Yes. And so he goes back and closes that loop. And part of it was that like he had made deals for himself to survive things that were hard.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just like why did
That's a
you not do
beautiful ending. That's a
and why
beautiful
not?
ending.
It's so easy.
It's
It is.
perfect.
It's very easy.
And like it's wild to me, the ending of that drama, to have a character like him with zero growth and zero change at the end.
Right.
I'm just gonna go on demoning.
Yeah.
And be your boyfriend until you grow old and die.
And part of what you want in a romance especially when you have a character like him at the beginning. I did watch the first episode, so like I do have an idea of like his character, but like that reckoning of that like toxicity is like what I yearn for in a
Yes.
romance. I
Yeah.
always want the like reckoning where someone like that is brought low but then like rebuilt as a better person. That's like 75% of why I read and consume romance.
And look, this was Song
Is the
Kang
reckoning.
too. And Song Kang, he was amazing. Like, I blame him not
Yeah.
for the story
He's
of
also
this.
completely capable emotionally of playing
Absolutely.
with that.
So strong
Yeah.
at emotion.
Yes.
He is.
And
He's
just
so good.
imagine like having the father come back and give blessing, then like you really do get to have that emotional beat if you did save her and the father's not punished for all eternity. Because all I could think of after was like, did no parent make this? Because for me, I was like,
Yeah.
I would make a deal to save my child's life.
Mhm.
But should I then have to burn in a pit of fire for the rest of eternity? That
Yeah,
seems
crazy.
Like, I already cut my life short by decades
Yeah.
so that my
Yeah.
child could live. Oh, God, that would be your hell. Plunging a toilet and vomiting while you're doing it.
No.
While the
for what-
dog stands behind you vomiting.
The dog's yakking too.
Yeah, and for the price, because I mean, like again, it's not like I want to see the bad guys suffer, but if there's something a little bit more that, like, just for fictional enjoyment, you can be like, you know, if you wanted to like murder someone and take their money or take their wife, you're like, okay, not a good choice, not good. Like, but you know, when it's the cancer kid,
I know. I
Oh.
remember that. I remember that first episode, and I was like, I remember that because I think that's in episode 1. And then when you guys told me the end and how that, I was like, I don't want to watch this. Like, that's crazy.
It was wild
Okay.
because we were really liking it. We did a podcast
Right.
with Megan from Afternoona Army. And I remember, like, you finished the drama, Leah, like, I think the day we were recording, and you messaged us on Instagram and were like, I hate this drama now. I hate it.
I want to go next only because mine is very similar in that, like, they did like too much. Like
Yes.
they didn't need to do this. Like they could have ended this drama so simply and so
And they left other loops unclosed too.
for my demon.
Oh, I thought you meant, I
Or-
thought you were talking about for yours.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
well, I decided I'm doing I'm doing a virtuous business.
That's right. I thought you were going to do head over heels.
No, it's
Yeah.
okay. So if you don't want to know the ending of a virtuous business, like, again, this is not for you, but this has been bothering me for a really long time. And I've talked about it numerous times, so I'm not over it. Meaning, like, I feel like this needs to get off my chest. So A Virtuous Business, it came out in 2024. So that's why I've like been stewing on this. And when I watched it, I said repeatedly that it was like shaping up to be one of my favorite dramas of all time. And then the last episode happened, and it happened like so badly that it really did, in fact, like overshadow the whole drama for me in a way that makes me sad and angry. And like the reason the ending ruined it for me wasn't just because it was like rushed or wacky, which both of those happened. It was because like I felt it negated like a whole lot of like character and like plot development that made the drama shine. And also like the overall theme of the drama, I just feel like they like tossed it out. It's crazy. So what's A Virtuous Business about? Let me just give you a quick summary. It's a very nuanced drama that centers female independence, friendship, and pleasure. So 4 women in the small town of Gumjae in 1992 decide to start a business selling adult products door to door. So think like lingerie, vibrators, fancy lube, that kind of stuff. And this drama tackles issues like poverty, divorce, sexual violence, pregnancy out of wedlock in a conservative country, being a single mom. Actually kind of like name it and it's like there. An issue that affects women, it's there. And it does it so well that it's such a good drama. And so how this works is that these 4 women, they basically work with a woman who has an office in their town. So she has like this building where the goods are like all the supplies are kept. And when they sell, then they like go to this place and replenish. So she's the one who like brings the supplies in. They get it. It's not as MLM, multi-level marketing, as it sounds. It's kind of just more like direct sales. Okay. So because the women, yeah, they're selling it door to door. They go and have little home parties and stuff like that. So let me set up how the drama ends, because I need you to understand like how crazy it is, especially when you have to just take my word for it that this drama was so smart. For 11 and like a half episodes, it was so smart and so good. For 11 episodes, yeah, we get a smart plot with these 4 women as they kind of each come into their own power. So Han Jong-suk is played by Kim So-yeon, and she's the main character. She has a sweet romance with a police officer who ends up being the son that her now married friend, whom Hui, played by Kim Sung-ryong, gave up for adoption when she got pregnant really young and out of wedlock.
Yeah.
So by the middle of the final episode, it's 12 episodes, almost all the plot points are actually resolved. Like, you're nearing the, like, I remember watching the beginning of episode 12 and feeling like really good about where this was going, because I was like, oh, they're wrapping up a lot of things. The mother and the son reunite, and the women are making money successfully. The show kind of was, I felt like it was proving that, like, these women can be successful prioritizing things that matter to women. Do you know what I mean? But then all of a sudden, in like 40 minutes to go in episode 12, they just, I don't know, they go insane. There's like a new writer, okay? So a few things happen. The owner of the adult business who supplies their products just suddenly, out of nowhere, leaves with all the products and like ransacks the shop. So they're like all happy and they show up at the shop and it's just like decimated. She wasn't a main character. She was really just the one who like supplied their products. She was like kind of a boss, but she wasn't like, she didn't really have she actually didn't have a storyline at all to this point, to be honest. I wasn't even really sure what she looked like. She's a very like small part. Okay. But then again, in this last episode, they like give her a story. So Jong-suk like tracks her down, like goes, because she's like, what happened? Like all of a sudden my job vanished overnight because you took all the supplies. And the owner admits that she had originally opened up a store for her products, but she was driven out by protesters. So that was why she went to Goomjae to start fresh. And it worked for a little while until the person who sold her the products from abroad was arrested. We don't know why. And now the police want her for questioning. Like, what? Why are you giving this woman a story in like
shoehorning it in?
The 11th? It's crazy. And Jong-suk is like, as Jong-suk is talking to her, the police like bang on the door and she has to flee by literally like running out the window. And you're like, how is this happening? And there's like 40 minutes to go. It doesn't make sense. And it's just like this weird, like Deus ex machina to like cause conflict. Mm-hmm. And then that's it. And then we have a time jump out of nowhere. We just have a time jump. And it's Jong-suk and her crew have now like out of nowhere. So the last thing we know is that this woman left with all the products. They have no job. Like everything's gone. She's wanted for questioning by the police for God knows what. And then they have this time jump, and all of a sudden Jong-suk's just like in front of a store that she opened up with her crew. And they have like her, like the other women. And all of a sudden they have a shop in like the city and they're selling adult products out of it. And you're like, well, how did you get here? How did you get here? And they prepare to cut the ribbon. This is the worst part. They prepare to cut the ribbon for the shop. But these random protesters just show up. They just start marching down the street. And they have like a really awkward chant and they have signs because they're just like mad that there's like an adult shop. And everyone's like, oh no, what do we do? And Jong-suk just like walks in front of them and there's this like big bouquet of balloons that's like meant to celebrate her opening the shop. And she cuts them in front of the protesters. And everyone just watches the balloons like float up into the air and happy music starts playing. Like happy, like final music starts playing. And Jung-suk literally, like, I can't. She like looks at her friends and she goes, if they block our path, we can float into the sky. Bitch, what? Where are you floating? How are you floating? What is this metaphor you are talking about? Floating where? What does this mean? And somehow the protesters are so stunned by these balloons that they fall silent. And that's the end. End credits. Literal end credits. It's as crazy as it sounds. Okay. So I actually went and like rewatched it today because I wanted to make sure like I had it right. And in my mind, that was actually all of episode 12. But when I watched it back, I was like, oh no, that's really only the back half of episode 12. They literally didn't have to do all this. They didn't have to be weird. Like there was no reason for it. Okay. So here's what I propose. And this is the thing is it's like, I wish they would have just done nothing than do that. Like it's crazy. Do you know what I mean? So here's what I propose on how to like fix this ending that just went completely off the rails, made no sense. And I felt like didn't give justice to these women who had like fought so hard throughout this like whole drama. And then to just give them this like weird, cheap, like inspirational line that like didn't even fit like the character in my opinion. Okay, so this is what I propose. The woman who supplies their products, she's not arrested, just because I don't know where that came from. So she decides to move to another part of Korea to expand her territory, and she leaves Jong-suk in charge in Gumjae of like the business. So Jong-suk hires more women in neighboring villages. Her love interest, who in the original ending, like literally, like, I don't know, disappeared. I don't know where he goes. He remains by her side the entire time instead of going back to Seoul or whatever to do cop stuff. We get a kiss and some declaration of a future together, which you didn't get. He continues to bond with Gunpui, which is his like mother. And a time jump would be okay, but we need a montage to see her slowly building up the business until she's successful enough to open her own storefront in a city. So because I like the idea of her, like, I like the idea of like montages of her in this final episode, like being more and more successful. Her, like, because the whole point of her character too is that at the very beginning, she's very meek and shy and doesn't stick up for herself. And she doesn't believe she can be any sort of CEO. Like, she doesn't believe in herself. And by the end, she does. So I'd love to like see her just continue to like reach out to people and like be the awesome businesswoman that she is. And once, if we do have that time jump, you know, a little bit, like I would say it'd be nice to have a montage, then we can have a time jump where she opens up her own store. And I think, you know, the protester thing was just so stupid and it like looked corny, guys. It looked so corny. It like didn't work like visually. So I think a little pushback though from the community would make sense. Again, this is still like conservative, like, mid 90s Korea. I think it's rational to have pushback from the community. I just think like do it in a
Maybe like some
non-corny way.
old biddies that like walk by. It's like Lord of the Rings, where at the
Yeah.
end, like they go back to like the Shire and there's some people making like sour faces.
Yeah, or I even said like, what if there's like a newspaper article that's like less than kind? Okay, and of course that's like a little bit of a scathing newspaper article. And before, Jung-suk would have been like very unwilling to like handle conflict, but instead she like faces the criticism head on. Maybe she writes her own op-ed and submits it to the newspaper about the importance of like what she thinks she's doing. And she finds like some sort of like community outreach to like reach women in the community to like explain like why she's doing is important. And I would say like that it would be nice to have a ribbon cutting ceremony. That would be lovely, but no balloons releasing in the air because again, that's pollution. So we don't do that anyway. And I kind of love the idea of there being like a full circle moment. So maybe she has like customers and there's one in particular that seems again, like maybe a little like kind of turning into herself, a little shy, not super confident. And Jung-suk like sort of sees herself in that woman, like Jung-suk, like from like episode 1 where she just like wasn't willing to stick up for herself. And she reaches out to this woman and takes her under her wing. And maybe eventually this woman becomes an employee. And so there's like this cycle of women supporting women repeating. And I think that would be like that kind of final note of her like taking another woman under her wing that she sees.
100%.
That would be
perfect.
That would be like my final image. I feel like if they block our path, we can float into the sky. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I still can't be over it. I'll never be over it.
100% agree.
So there, that's
Perfect
mine.
ending.
I feel really bad. I honestly, what?
Oh, for me, it's like, because I saw some of the start of this, and you know, it's obviously a story about women, for women, about women.
Yeah.
But I also do think it's weird when they want you to invest in any kind of situationships and then like they're gone completely.
Yeah, I mean, there was like the relationship she formed with this guy was like really sweet. And I didn't necessarily need like a full-blown romance necessarily, but it was very drop thread. There was like another romance with one of the other like 4 women. I didn't obviously get into like all the women, but and that was really sweet. And there's like a lot of heavy lifting, a lot of heavy emotional lifting, and I think that's it. And that I felt like as a viewer, the drama treated me with respect, meaning it thought I could like handle tough conversations and tough topics. So for that ending to feel so cheap, and like after school special sort of, it just, I was like, now I feel insulted. It really felt like someone else wrote it. And I know they probably did.
Yeah.
I do feel slightly more unburdened. I'll still never be over it, but I do feel a little bit better. In my mind now, I have the image of like, what'd you say?
Did it hold until the very end? Like, Was it a slow attrition or was it like good and then you hit the very last episode?
Oh, it was fantastic up until the middle of episode 12. Like that's the thing. That's what didn't make any sense. It was like so good. And I was like, this is going to be one of my favorite dramas of all time.
And then shit the
Like
bed.
and then it just shit the bed and it shit the bed so bad and made everything feel like cheaper a little bit. Like if you saw the video of like, or the like scene where the protesters walk and she just cuts the balloons and the happy music starts playing and you're like, what? It's just wild. It's wild. But in my mind, I'm going to think about Jung-suk taking another woman like under her wing and teaching her the ways. And I feel better about that.
I like it.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me get that off my chest.
Okay, so I'm going to round things out by talking about the ending of My Youth. And My Youth is a very recent drama. And I did talk about the ending a little bit in our deep dive of My Youth that Megan and I did, but I didn't rewrite it. And now
I don't really know much.
Yeah, so now I am going to rewrite it. So if you don't want to know how My Youth ends, then skip on over to Anyang.
I'm excited for this.
And we'll
I'm
see you
excited
next
to
time.
see. Yeah, I'm excited to see how you're gonna end.
Yeah,
this,
and
I am.
I'm not gonna get into, because there's a second lead couple in this that are great. There's a lot of like secondary characters that are great. I'm only talking about the main leads because that's where it really sort of like lost the plot for me. I still love this drama. Like, go listen to our podcast in My Youth. Like, I love this drama, but everything was right there. Like the setup for how this could have ended, to the extent where I messaged Megan and I said, okay, here's how it's going to end. And I'm like, I feel pretty right about all of this. And none of it happened. None of what I expected happened. Okay. So I'll give you a little bit about how My Youth does end and then tell you what I would have done instead, what should have happened. Okay. So My Youth is a 2025 drama with Song Joong Ki as the hero and the hero Sun Woo Hae and Chun Woo Hee as the heroine Sung Ji-yeon. So I'm mainly talking about Sun Woo Hae and Sung Ji-yeon. I'll mention a couple other characters, but it's mainly about them. Okay. So Sun Woo Hae has a potentially life-threatening illness for which he qualifies for a clinical trial that could prolong his life or maybe even cure him. It's unclear. This trial is out of the country. Was it in the U.S., Megan? I don't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
And the U.S. was just the U.S.
The U.S. We don't know where.
It's like a very large.
You have to go to America. We're going to plunk you somewhere in a hospital in America, and you're going to have this clinical trial. Okay.
Yeah.
So the trial is in the U.S., and he establishes with the heroine that even though she has no job and nothing to do right now, she shouldn't come with him because it'll be too much for both of them. But the hero's estranged father, who is trying to find a way back into Hae's life, decides that he is going to go with him. This is great. 2 thumbs up. I wanted this. I was very happy for it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. So Ji-yeon will stay behind, let father and son bond, and they'll find time to video chat. They talk about this. They talk about the video chatting, that we're going to figure it out. And also, since she has no job, and she wasn't fired or anything, by the way. She quit her job because she was a talent manager, and she quit because it didn't feel like her calling. So she's looking for her calling. Like, there is some growth that we need to have here, right? So since she has no job, she'll keep an eye on his flower shop that will remain closed for the next 1 to 2 years while he's gone, because we don't know if it's going to be 1 or 2 years. But it will still be stocked with flowers that need tending.
Right? Like, we're not going to get rid of the plants.
Nope.
We're just going to keep.
We're not going to sell the stock we have.
Fully stocked flower shop.
That will be
plants
closed.
everywhere.
That will be closed. But you still have to take care of all the flowers.
Someone's got to go take care of them. Yeah.
Meanwhile, like apropos of nothing, Sun Woo Hae's former teacher and current bookshop owner, decides that she's going to chuck it all and move to Australia, even though she doesn't know a word of English or how to surf. Just in the middle of one of the later episodes, she's like, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Sun Woo Hae leaves for his clinical trial, and we watch Ji-yeon tend to his shop for an indeterminate period of time. They never video chat. We never see father and son reconcile during his clinical trial. We don't even see them like hop on a plane together.
They did not have the budget for fake America.
Not even a
Sung-ji-
room, not even a bedroom.
nothing.
Nope. No
Nothing.
phone call, nothing. For all we know, he's dead. We don't know.
Nothing.
We're like, maybe he died. I don't know.
Sung Ji-yeon never figures out her career or calling, but she keeps Hay's flowers alive and sometimes dozes off in the flower shop and dreams he's come home, but then wakes up and he's not there. Cut to the final scene. Okay, because we get like probably half an episode of her just tending to the flowers.
Just being mopey in the shop. Just being mopey.
So final scene, Ji-yeon goes to the flower shop to not get paid and tend to Hay's flowers, only to find the shop mysteriously just open for business. And with zero announcement that he has returned, Hay is inside being a florist, tending to his flowers.
With his overalls on.
With his overalls on. Looking adorable.
Yeah.
But
Super cute.
like he came home from his clinical trial and the first thing he did was go back to work. Didn't contact her, nothing. Just went back to work. She asks if he's real to make sure that she's not dreaming because she just had a dream the night before that, that he was back and he really wasn't. And we're never clearly told that this is in fact real. But
I didn't think.
we assume.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
We assume that it is. We never hear about the trial or even get confirmation that he's cured. They hug and it ends.
They look at each other and he's like, would my reflection be in the mirror if I was alive? And I was kind of like, is this a trick question? Like, I honestly, I didn't know. When it finished, I was like, that might not have been real. That might have been a dream. I don't know.
I don't know. And it doesn't matter because it's just dumb.
It's
like
fine.
You've been separated from the love of your life for one, maybe 2 years. We don't know. We don't know. Because the dad comes home before him. Dad just shows up, goes back to his wife and starts doing business again. Like it's the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing. So I have no idea.
I don't think it was trying to say anything the entire time.
It said, it did say some good stuff.
You're right.
It did. Like a lot
True.
of great stuff about
True.
about relationships and giving dignity to your partner.
Yeah,
Like
that's true.
with the main leads, the second leads, and even the dad and his wife, like a lot of talk of dignity. And I really, really liked that.
This is true. This is true.
But yeah. And
We don't
and
know
a lot of comment on, like shouldering the burden of, your trauma and once you're in a relationship, being able to share some of that burden and that's okay. That you don't have to shoulder everything alone. And they learn this. This is good. They learn not to close themselves off. But that was a fuck all weird ending. Okay.
Yep.
So this
Yeah.
is how it should have ended. Hay and his father leave for the trial, and we see them sitting together on the airplane where they finally connect over a K-drama or movie that's playing on the plane's entertainment system.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be gone for a year or two, Hay enlists the help of his stepbrother, Suk-ju, to look after the shop because Suk-ju can do his office work remotely. He doesn't really need to work. He's fine. And he loves his brother and wants to be there for him. And since Mo Tae-rin, who's our second female lead, who is an up-and-coming actress, has an unconventional schedule with shooting her drama, we often see her helping out at the shop with Suk-ju as well, and they get to be all cute, okay? And be a couple and be happy. Meanwhile, we see Ji-yeon working on a project, painting walls, putting together furniture, but we don't know exactly what she's doing because it's always close-up shots of her working on her latest project, but she's doing something. We see snippets of video chats between her and Hay. We see snippets of them trying to have chats but missing each other, and eventually they talk less and less, not because they don't miss each other, but because the time difference and Hay's treatment make it tricky. Finally, we see the project Ji-yeon has been working on this whole time, and it's a remodel of the bookstore because, yes, she has finally found her calling. She's going to run the bookshop just down the street from Hay's flower shop. Speaking of Hay, the bell chimes above her shop door. Her first customers. Before she sees them, she hears a man's voice saying, "I think this is it," referring to the shop. So she steps out from behind the counter, grinning as she waits to greet her first patrons. Her breath catches as the first man steps through the door. It's Sunwoo Hay's father, and behind him, holding open the door for his dad, is Hay. "We just got off the plane," he tells her. "I didn't even go home before coming to find you." He's, of course, wearing overalls that are too big on him, and a bucket hat hangs down his back from a string around his neck. She runs to him, but stops just short of jumping into his arms. Are you really here? She asks. I'm here, he tells her, for a long, long time, indicating that the clinical trial worked. And she jumps into his arms. Hayes' father disappears down an aisle of books to give them privacy while our hero and heroine reunite with a kiss. And the drama ends with them reuniting the same way that she found Hay again after they had been estranged for 15 years, which was walking into his flower shop. The end.
It's perfect. It's actually so. That's again. What are we doing
They
when it's
set it up
literally
for that.
written? Yeah, it's all spelled out for
Like,
us.
what was the point of the teacher leaving this empty bookshop and giving it to no one?
Oh my god, it's so.
And going
That's
to
actually
Australia.
great.
And as soon as the bookshop happened, I messaged Megan. I'm like, here's what's going to happen.
Right.
She's going to do the bookshop. It's going to be perfect.
I love your dig that he says, I just got off the plane. I didn't even go anywhere. That's like a total shade to
I
the
came
actual.
to find you.
Yeah, I came
Because
to find
why
you.
wouldn't you?
I like
right?
Sukju taking care of the shop more too. Because
Yes.
like Sukju and Hay have like a really good kind of cool relationship. They're like stepbrothers. And yeah, they're like adorable. So I think that would be really cool. Mote Rin can stop over anytime. And like, oh my God, it's perfect. It's perfect.
I mean, I should have tossed the sister in there. I didn't go so far. Like, the sister could have helped. So many people who didn't have other life things to figure out could have helped with the shop, other than it was insane to have Jian watch this shop for
So
a
she was like
year or
watering
two.
the plant.
Yes,
keeping
and the
them
shop was not open.
It was crazy, Leah. We were like, what? I was like, what is happening? And I kept looking at the time. Like, excuse me, I kept looking at the time to see how much time was left in the episode. And I knew it was the final episode. And I'm like, what are we doing? Because they all, oh my God, I have the hiccups. They kept wasting time just showing her moping around the shop. I'm like, what are we doing? We could have had montages here. Like, there was so much that could have been
shown
done.
the dad and him in a hospital room, like
with
playing
Song
checkers or Go or something.
Yeah,
you know?
was he like not around to like shoot anything? Like, what was going on?
I don't know.
It's insane. It's truly an insane ending. And yeah, I love your ending. That would be like, if that is the way it would have ended, I would have been like, yeah, this is
And
perfect.
it
This is
bookends
exactly
the
what should
beginning
happen.
too, like stories should do. We want to have like a framework. Like, when you see the beginning of something, if you know the beats of a story, if you see the opening shot, you know the ending shot. You know what I mean? And it was
we're trained to know
wild.
that.
And so they did do that, but they did the exact same thing where she walks into the shop and he pops out from back, just tending to the flowers.
Yeah, it should have been like mirrored, like done a different way.
Yes.
So like him coming into her shop. That's
Yes.
the way it should have been. I love your ending. It makes me mad because I can picture it in my head with all the characters. And like the bookshop's really cool, Leah. It's like this like old bookshop with these really tall shelves. Like, I can just picture it all and how cool it would have been.
Yeah, like
And instead
I really don't understand how there was an empty bookshop and a heroine that needed purpose, and her
Yes.
purpose ended up just being to take care of the man's shop he left.
It was very like, what's wrong with Secretary Kim?
Very.
Like
Like, she still has no job.
no agency. She still has no job. And like the whole bookshop thing like fit in too, because I mean, this is a wild other part of the drama, is that when he was a teenager and needed to make money, Sun Woo Hae wrote a book to enter a contest to get money to take care of his little sister. And he got this book published and now is also a famous author.
Yeah, the way
And a child actor. And a child like
the way publishing was handled in this drama was that the way publishing was handled in this drama was very interesting. Like, and the way like rights, like movie rights were, I was like, this is not how it works.
it was so wild. But yeah, I mean, what made me so mad about this ending is that they set it up to have all these things fall into place.
Yeah.
And again, it would not have cost any more to shoot this ending.
No.
Like, I don't.
It's like they set up the dominoes and then walked away.
Yep.
And you're like, what? Just flick the first one. Like, just
That's all you
do
need
it.
to do.
I know.
Everything's
know.
ready.
I
And when
feel
that
like that.
Why does that happen?
I don't know, because that's why I felt like a virtuous business was. I was like, what? You did more than you had to. You did more.
Yeah, that's
you didn't
silly.
have to do
Like
all this.
shoehorned in like more story.
Shoehorn in this like weird conflict in the 11th hour makes no sense. No sense.
And look, I have gotten to a place in writing a book where I have to rush an ending. Like I've gotten there before, but this ending was not rushed. She
Right, there's a
dawdled
difference.
around this shop.
Right. There's a difference between a rushed ending, obviously.
Yeah,
then
it happens.
an ending that just like there's been plenty of rushed endings and dramas, and it hasn't, like, to be honest, I don't remember those. Like, they don't stick in my mind as being bad endings. I'm just like, yeah, that ending was a little rushed, but like,
you could have done this.
had more.
You could have done a little bit more.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, a rushed ending doesn't necessarily mean it loses the plot, and this totally lost the plot.
Like, I think personally for me, and I know people disagree, but for me, Head Over Heels was a rushed ending.
Yes.
It wasn't necessarily a terrible ending. I think that they had the elements that they wanted. It just wasn't, it was too rushed.
They didn't close every loop.
So
yeah,
they didn't close every loop. I think they ran out of time and it was too rushed. I don't think it was bad, and I don't think it like changed the plot or the characters are really, you know what I mean? But this ending wasn't rushed. It was just not good.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
And it didn't make me hate the drama, because I did enjoy my time with this drama, but it was like, it was just to the extent where like, I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Right.
And
but
it
what you
didn't.
explained just sounds like also not even like, I thought I was going here and I didn't. It sounded like the logical extension, not you being like, oh, I hope this happens.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
why
wasn't.
it
I
drives me
wasn't like
crazy.
grasping. I wasn't like, oh, I'm predicting this great puzzle. Like I'm solving this great puzzle. Like they set it up.
Yeah, in a way, I didn't mind that Amy told me that, but I was kind of like, I guess that's how it's going to end now. Like, she's probably right. Now I know the ending. Not that it really mattered, because it wasn't that type of drama that you needed to be surprised. But I was like, yeah, that'll probably be.
But
right,
I also am that asshole who wants you to know that I know, even if it ruins it for you. Then I do that to my kids and I hate it.
I was sort of like, dum-da-dum, I'll just wait for these things to happen because this is what's going to happen. And then it didn't. And I was like, this is crazy.
Like, not one of them. I just can't get past the idea that she watched a closed flower shop for 1 to 2 years, because we never got verification on the timeline, and that he goes away for this clinical trial and we never see him during this. And all these
plants are just thriving. I know.
In a closed shop that's making no money, and she's making no money.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. But that was fun. I do feel unburdened. I don't know about you guys. I do feel slightly
I feel unburdened, but it also fires me up again, because it makes me so mad when things could be so good, you know?
Right. And I also had to rewatch the end of Virtuous Business so I could do this properly. And then I got mad all over again.
Right. That balloon thing is ridiculous.
And I will never be over it. And actually, I had forgotten she said those stupid words. So that then I'm like more mad because I had actually forgotten it. Now I remember again. But that's all right. So anyway, I'm interested to hear what you guys think about our endings. If you also, maybe you guys liked the endings originally and you didn't mind. And also let us know like what endings you really want to rewrite.
Because maybe we'll do them for a future episode.
Yeah. I got Head Over Heels in my back pocket.
Yep.
So
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Thank you, Leah, for not coming to your end. We're really happy about that we don't have to explain. And we will see you next time.
Annyeong!
감사합니다. Thank you for listening to Afternoona Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoona Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!